All right, you ready to begin?
I'm ready. Ready.
I'm with Donna Phillips. Donna, how many years have you been with the Stephen Foster story?
This is my 20th season.
My goodness.
Yes.
And I know that these weren't consecutive seasons. When did you
They
start?
weren't. I started in 1990, fresh out of college, and I was in the show for 10 seasons. Then I took a 14-year hiatus and came back. So it happens a lot. Some of us think, okay, this is my last season, we're done. And then we feel that urge to come back and do it all over again.
Absolutely. Now, you are conspicuously not sweaty and not dressed as you are would be ready to go on for a performance. What is your current role with the company?
My current role is an assistant director for Stephen Foster's story this year, for the last 2 years.
And what in particular are your areas of responsibility?
Mostly, I'm here to sort of be a cultural expert on matters when it comes to African American life and culture during this time period, and also to direct the cabin scene, which is the only scene that takes place with the enslaved population here in Kentucky.
Now, you and I both started many, many years ago when the cultural depictions of the enslaved were, let's say, just simply say, much different than they are today. What are some of the changes that you have seen enacted in your time with the Stephen Foster story?
Well, in the past, it was very stereotypical. It was gone with the wind kind of idea. And so over time, we took a look at everything from the way the characters are dressed. For example, the women no longer all have the red bandana on their heads or a mop cap. Instead, they wear a variety of colors of bandanas on their heads or just wear their hair. We're allowed to have, braided styles and short natural styles and things like that didn't exist in the past. Also, we've introduced a variety of characters as far as their station in life as well. So we do have domestics, but we also have Martin Delaney, who is a real historical figure, if you'd like to look him up, who was actually a very renowned man. He apprenticed as a doctor under Dr. McDowell, Jane's family. So, so we've sort of presenting a broader look at what life was like for Black people during this era.
And Martin Delaney, the historical character, had not been in the Stephen Foster story until recent years then.
Correct. We introduced him in 2021 after our artistic director at the time, Johnny Warren, was doing a little research and discovered this particular person and that he was actually connected with Stephen Foster's world. Yeah.
That is fantastic that he would have been around to hear the music, to interact with the family that Stephen would have been visiting while he was wooing Jane McDowell.
Correct.
Jeannie with the light brown hair. Whatever happened to Martin Delaney?
Well, forgive me, my research is not as good as it should be at this point in time. We do know that Martin at one point was an officer in our military, which was unusual for the time. He was appointed by the president. We know that he worked alongside Frederick Douglass on the North Star, which was a magazine that Frederick Douglass created. We also know that he was known as the father of the Black nationalist movement and things like that. So he was a very interesting historic figure that kind of got lost in time, and we wanted to resurrect him.
A character with many facets.
Yes.
I'm sure that there could be an entire play just about Martin Delaney.
There could. You're giving me ideas.
Now, when you listen to the Stephen Foster story and watch it as opposed to being on the cast, what are some things that you notice perhaps as an audience member that you might not have noticed as a cast member?
As a cast member, I miss a lot of the subtle things, and I miss a lot of the book scenes because I was either backstage or in a group number. So I get to see the nuances that each actor puts into their characters. The love between Jeannie and Stephen at the final song, Beautiful Dreamer, is just so beautiful and sweet. This lovely relationship between Stephen Foster and Levy, for example. I was Levy,
Sure.
but now I get to step back and actually look at this dynamic relationship between the two. And what a lot of people don't know is she was a real person as well, indentured to the Foster family. So we get to actually resurrect her story too.
And it must be interesting to watch other people portray a character that you inhabited yourself for so many years.
Yes. I love what our actress Darla is doing to it now. Her Levy is very kind and caring and likable. And she does a little bit different than me. Mine was kind of sassy and, was kind of a nag and fussing at Stephen all the time. And I love the difference, and I love seeing what another actress brings
Well,
to
you
the
are
role.
kind of sassy sometimes.
What are you trying to say, Richard?
So, what would you say to someone who thought, well, Stephen Foster, his music isn't for me, it doesn't speak to me and my culture and where I am? What would you say to them to perhaps encourage them to give the Stephen Foster story a chance to speak to them?
I think Stephen Foster's music is multifaceted. It can be many things at once. The more controversial side of the music is that he sold songs to minstrels. Some of them were stolen by minstrels. They were part of the blackface minstrelsy culture at the time. At the same time, he also wrote these beautiful sentimental songs about life and love and death. And he wrote plantation melodies in response to what he witnessed with the enslavement and the oppression of black people. And he attempted to write those songs from the black perspective as a white man.
Sure.
Those songs were written actually for white people, however, to try and elicit sympathies for the plight of black people. He was all of those things. His music was all of those things. So I think his music is a snapshot into that time period, and for me personally, therefore deserves to be preserved.
Again, a multifaceted, complex person.
Correct.
Who it would be impossible to reduce him to simply one simple type of opinions.
Correct.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you.
And if you would like to see the Stephen Foster story, you can go to stephenfoster.com to purchase your tickets. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.